Okay, folks, what I thought I might do is I'm going to attempt to go live in the next few nights with my telescope for anybody that cares to see it. And so I thought I might do a quick rundown of the setup and how it operates out here at the mount before we end up inside on the computer. So I can kind of give you an idea how everything ties together. So we have the telescope mount and all the telescopes set up here. As you can see, it's a pretty hefty work of art. There's 3 telescopes. You got the blue telescope, which is 12-inch. You got the white telescope, which is a 81 millimeter. That's about 3¼ inches or so. And then you got the little scope right over there. That's a 50, which is 2 inches. So and then these cameras are dedicated astronomy cameras right here. They're cooled, as you can see with the fan. They are cooled. I usually run my cameras at -3 degrees Celsius, which is, below ambient temperature. So the way all this works is under here is a 12-volt power supply. Everything up here is 12 volts, and this supplies 30 amps. And it goes up right here through the mount and comes out up here and comes up here to this, which is called a rig runner. And then this feeds my power to all my cameras and stuff, is what that does. That's why it's called a rig runner. So my power is, there's no wires hanging down here to get hung up when the telescope is moving around and slewing all over the place. There's no wires to get hung up because they're all run through the mount, so it's clean. So that's how that functions. So like this setup right here on the 12-inch, this is a mono camera. This is a filter wheel with 7 filters in it, and this is an automatic focuser so that I can focus from inside the house. And this focuser and this focuser are controlled by this unit right here. And this is, my small scope is a manual focus. It doesn't get a automatic focuser. So when I'm taking images, let's say on this one, the mono camera, I pick which filter I want. So I have hydrogen alpha, sulfur, and oxygen gases, and then I have luminance, red, green, and blue. So LRGB is typically what makes up a standard color image. When you take a picture with a color camera like your DSLR, it's RGB. It has RGB filters already put on the sensor. Well, this is a mono sensor. It doesn't have any of those filters on it, so I have to put those filters in front of it. Monos are much more sensitive sensors. That's why we use mono. So I just switch filters around to whatever I want. And when we go live, I'll show you what those images look like from these filters to give you kind of an indication as to what kind of stuff is coming through the filter. So this one is the same setup. It's a mono camera, 7-position filter wheel with 7 filters, automatic focuser. This is a dedicated astronomy telescope right here. It is a refractor, a fairly high-end one. So Williams Optics, it's a high-end refractor. This is a Meade 12-inch. So basically this is, my focal length on this is, if say you have your DSLR camera with a 50 millimeter lens on it, this is a 3050 millimeter lens. So it's reaching way out there. And this is my guide scope, but it's also an astrograph, meaning I can take images with this too. So this is my guide scope, and the way the guiding works is I fire this up under a tab that says guiding, and I pick a star in the field of view. I slew to where I'm going, then I pick a star in my field of view, and I tell it to guide on that star. So what it does then is it works an XY axis, and it keeps that star centered on that XY axis. And if that star drifts off, it sends a pulse to the mount down here and makes an adjustment so that it keeps that star centered on that XY axis. So that's how we can take long exposures without blurring the image. Sometimes I take images as long as a single image, as long as 15 minutes. So it just depends on how dim the object is that we're photographing. And it's all perfectly balanced. There's 90 pounds worth of weight right there because I'm pushing almost 90 pounds. All of this is almost 90 pounds. The mount's designed to function with 100 pounds. So I'm under the 100 pounds. They say you should stay 80%, which would be 80 pounds, but it functions to perfection even at 90 pounds. It's very smooth, very well balanced. And then everything is controlled. It comes back. Everything comes back through the mount with this wire and goes into this, which then I go to Cat 5 back to my house. And so I'm running everything from inside the house. So that's kind of the telescope, how it functions in a nutshell. And I figured it might be helpful to understand how the system's put together. So when I go live and I'm explaining stuff on the computer, maybe it'll trigger that you saw that out here, you know. So the last thing I'll talk about is like this black strap and this black strap and this black. Those are dew heaters, and they're controlled by this controller. And what they do is they're wrapped around the front lens on the telescope out here, and it creates heat, and it warms up that lens. And it's just like your when you turn on your defrost your mirrors in your car, all it does is heat the glass up and the dew goes away. Same theory here. We just create a warm lens. All it's got to be is 2 to 3 degrees above the air temperature, and dew won't form on it. So if you get dew on your lens, it messes up your imaging. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's a pretty basic system, even though it looks complicated. It's just 3 separate telescopes, and each telescope is a basic telescope, focuser, filters, camera. That's really all it boils down to. Each one of them is the same, just different sizes. So with that said, we'll close this one out, and then in the next day or two, I hope to try to go live for you guys to actually see it in operation and show you what takes place inside the house. Thanks for watching.